In the desert, the heat burns. The air stings. And the silence is deafening. Tonight, champions,
the one and only Ricochet,
and challengers rise.
I'm gonna take the North American Championship.
And prepare to take over.
You're gonna take it, huh?
Holding my breath!
oh!
New blood,
The highly touted Matt Riddle is here in NXT.
meets the old guard.
Cassius Ohno ambushing Riddle.
You know who I am? You know what I've done, bro?
Hunter
Shayna Baszler, the merciless women's champion.
becomes hunted.
I got 20/20 vision when it comes to that NXT Women's Championship.
Belair poured kerosene on the fire.
And an era
2019, we're gonna capture all championship gold.
finds itself at war.
Hanson and Rowe, the War Raiders coming to reign undisputed era.
And through it all, the snake looks to keep its grasp.
Tommaso Ciampa will hold gold for as long as Tommaso Ciampa can take a damn breath.
Take over Phoenix. I will make you fade to black.
Aleister Black's all over Tommaso Ciampa.
Tonight, in the desert, the heat burns, the air stings, but the silence is no more. Because tonight, NXT takes over Phoenix. And now, Kingdom Hearts 3 presents NXT TakeOver Phoenix.
Rising from the ashes of an amazing anthem for the black and gold brand, Royal Rumble Weekend kicks off with the gold standard in sports entertainment. This is NXT TakeOver Phoenix. Hello and welcome to the Talking Stick Resort Arena. I'm Mauro Ranallo, Nigel McGuinness, Percy Watson. We are in the Valley of the Sun where the action promises to be hotter than Arizona asphalt.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm no Nostradamus, but with the quality of matchups here tonight, I dare say we may already see a show of the year. And with that in mind, let's take you now to our Spanish announce team.
El año pasado.
Amigos, sí, la acción de NXT TakeOver tiene lugar en el desierto. 4 luchas de campeonato esta noche.
Y nos complace saber que NXT también se ha apoderado del universo en español. Oye, ¿oyes eso?
Wow.
Se están apoderando de nosotros. ¿Qué?
I think you just said you don't have to be Tony Romo to know that tonight will be filled with more NXT instant classics.
contest scheduled for one fall is for the NXT Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers, Hanson, Rowe, War Raiders.
Great Odin's Raven, what an entrance by the modern-day Vikings, Hanson and Rowe, War Raiders, who came to NXT for one reason, to raid, to pillage the NXT Tag Team Division.
The drumbeats of destruction ring out around the arena. And to your point, Mario, ever since the War Raiders attacked the Undisputed Era at TakeOver Brooklyn, they have been on a hunt for those NXT Tag Team titles.
Evidence that the Vikings, who were among the most feared warriors in history, landed on the coast of North America 500 years before Christopher Columbus. Well, War Raiders, Percy, have landed in NXT, and all they want is tag team gold.
Oh, without a doubt. And I got to say, I like what I'm seeing from Hanson and Rowe. I like what I'm seeing from the War Raiders. And if they keep that same rage as of late, they bring it tonight, we could be looking at new NXT Tag Team champs.
War Raiders have promised tonight will be the end of an era.
And their opponents, they are the NXT Tag Team Champions, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, the Undisputed Era.
Of course, Nigel, the 2018 NXT Tag Team of the Year. The two-time NXT Tag Team Champions, along with the Revival, they might have something to say about this being the end of an era tonight.
Well, for them, as Adam Cole said, it's just the beginning of a new era for the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole made it clear. He said 2019 would be the year of the Undisputed Era, and they would be draped in gold.
Look, Era said that they are on a completely another level in comparison to the War Raiders. And they said that these guys are nothing but a bunch of cosplayers.
Hanson and Rowe were on the cusp of dethroning Undisputed Era back in October before a chair-wielding Bobby Fish interfered, attacking the War Raiders in the waiting moments of the match. That desperate tactic resulted in a disqualification loss for UE. O'Reilly also defeated Hanson to gain advantage going into War Games where, well, the War Raiders team was victorious, but tonight it's all about the NXT Tag Team Championship. And immediately the Undisputed Era attack War Raiders. And O'Reilly and Strong looking to skeletonize Hanson like a water buffalo if he were piranhas, and wrecking ball dropkick by Strong.
Gotta say, it's a smart move by Undisputed Era, starting fast against the War Raiders. Don't let them get rocking and rolling early.
O'Reilly and Strong all over War Raiders, but Rowe showcasing his explosive power.
And the Undisputed Era electing to go to the outside, but immediately gets stopped.
Hanson runs over both members of the Undisputed Era.
Oh!
Picking up his partner, Hanson, and slamming into on members of the Undisputed Era. Wow!
Well, the War Raiders know what is on the line here.
Undisputed Era was not ready for this.
Incredible strength as Rowe Gorilla presses Roderick Strong, but then Strong bounces off of Hanson.
Oh! War Raiders have been nearly unstoppable thus far.
Incredible tandem offense by the behemoths, the modern-day Vikings, and Rowe comes within a count of 3.
Guys, I hate to call this early, but it looks like it could be all but over for Undisputed Era.
And already the entire world talking about NXT TakeOver, the #1 trend worldwide, with the #1 spot in the NXT Tag Team division up for grabs.
And O'Reilly in there with a kick, changing the momentum. Oh, speaking of,
And Rose sent crashing into the midsection of his partner Hansen. Both of them crash and burn on the outside. And what a vicious start to this tag team title tilt.
And look, this is what Undisputed Era had to do. They had to weather the storm, that early storm by the War Raiders. And now they're back on top, doing what they do.
Undisputed Era mugging Hansen.
I think if you talk strategy in this match, though, Percy, the longer the match goes, I think the more it favors the Undisputed Era.
Ooh, beautiful jumping knee attack by the educated striking of Kyle O'Reilly.
You know what, Nigel, I may have to agree with you. We've seen Undisputed Era in a number of battles, a number of wars. These guys can go. They got a lot of endurance.
Not carrying as much weight as the War Raiders.
Roderick Strong looking to take over the big man, but Hansen doing a good job of blocking that attempt, and Hansen showing off his strength, although the veteran Strong lands on his feet, grabs some of Hansen's trunks, and the tag is made back to O'Reilly.
Wow.
Ha! Hansen won't budge. Strong and O'Reilly finally send him back first into the corner. And it's the 1-2 combination of the NXT Tag Team Champions, the Undisputed Era.
That's what the Undisputed Era is going to have to do in this matchup. They're going to have to double team their opponents because there's no way they can compete in terms of strength and power.
O'Reilly has a grip like a pistachio nut. It's hard to open, and he's putting the squeeze on Hansen's noggin.
Kyle O'Reilly with a fantastic submission background. Able to control a larger opponent, not dissimilar to Hoist Gracie in the early days of MMA. Oh,
and there,
attempt.
going for the guillotine.
Doesn't have a body scissors on, but how can you with a waist that big?
And look at the strength of Hansen, despite being in the clutches. The tag is made, and in comes Rowe. And Rowe is mowing down members of the Undisputed Era.
Undisputed Era unable to enact that strategy.
Wow. The strength of Rowe. There's a forearm shiver delivered by O'Reilly.
Rowe unmoved.
Can stir Rowe. Oh,
man!
Launches Strong into O'Reilly. The feats of strength on display to kick off NXT TakeOver Phoenix are mind-blowing. Oh, but Strong runs right into the elbow. And now O'Reilly cutting Rowe down to size. Wrecking ball drop kick by Strong, but it's blocked by Rowe. But he did block that jumping knee by O'Reilly.
What's this?
Hold on, fellas, hold on!
No! Hansen sent crashing to the outside of the ring.
Huge mistake from Hansen.
Hansen went for broke, and Percy, he's lucky he didn't break anything.
That wasn't a mistake. He was going for broke. He was going for it all. The NXT Tag Team titles on the line. What choice did he have?
Oh, and Rowe spiking O'Reilly. Drop kick by the agile Rowe.
Rowe going to have to do his best here.
Oh, clothesline on Strong, and the chop block by O'Reilly. Referee trying to restore order. This is a tag team match and not a Texas Tornado Rules match, Nigel.
You say it's a tag team match, but after Rowe took that spill to the outside, it may as well be a handicap match at this juncture, and that's exactly the way the Undisputed Era needs to treat it.
Oh my God.
Rowe just uncorked a powerful right hand, and Strong comes in. Strong with the backbreaker, living up to his moniker, the Messiah of the backbreaker. Rowe is down, covered by Strong, but a powerful escape by Rowe.
And how physical has this match been? But I guess I would expect nothing less by two of the best tag teams in NXT, period.
Now as this match starts to slow down a little bit, that methodical style of the Undisputed Era.
Oh, they hang Rowe out to dry on that top rope.
Driving that top rope into the midsection, into the intercostal muscles of the ribs.
O'Reilly dropping elbows, driving knees into the rib cage of Rowe.
Sliding knee strike lands.
And now the open palm strikes by O'Reilly, a student of the history of MMA. Taking it back to the pancrase stage, looking for that arm bar, the cross arm breaker.
There's only so much of this Rowe can take by himself. Hansen is out. How much more can
now
he
looking
stand?
for the triangle. O'Reilly transitions into the triangle, but look at the strength of Rowe deadlifting.
Tag was made,
O'Reilly.
tag was made.
Tag was made, and again, half Nelson backbreaker by Strong. And the Undisputed Era remaining a step ahead of War Raiders and the Undisputed Era. I'm almost walking out of Phoenix Tag Team Champions right there. Hanson barely stirring on the outside. Rowe being dominated by O'Reilly and Strong, and the tag is made again.
Which is a smart thing by the Undisputed Era. Now they can take their time, like Nigel said earlier. Tag in, tag out, keep themselves fresh, keep Rowe on their side of the ring. It doesn't even matter. Hanson's nowhere in sight.
Well,
Standing head and arm there.
I hate to disagree with you, Percy, but I think they'd have to actually potentially change their strategy, but no.
Oh, wait.
Hanson
Hanson's back up in the corner.
Back up on the apron, desperate to make a tag. Save for a quick spot. Oh, there's Strong wiping. Oh, he went to wipe out Hanson.
Oh, no.
Hanson having none of it. And now the referee keeping Hanson in his corner. The Undisputed Era, the opportunistic tag team champions, taking advantage.
Cannot blame Roderick Strong for doing that, Percy. That is classic tag team excellence.
But Undisputed Era consider themselves to be so great. Why not fight straight up, Nigel?
Oh.
When you get the opportunity, Percy, it pays to take it.
Rowe. And there's an exploder suplex that sends O'Reilly crashing into Strong. Strong flies off the apron.
Speaking of opportunity, Rowe has a huge one now.
But Rowe's delirious. I don't think Rowe knows where he is.
Rowe desperate to get back up to a vertical base. He can't even stand up after being decimated by the two-fisted attack of O'Reilly and Strong. And now O'Reilly.
Come on.
Strong takes out Hanson again. Standing drop kick by Roderick Strong. Down goes Rowe. The cover by Strong. Hooks the leg. And Rowe able to lift that right shoulder in the nick of time.
We'll take a look on the outside here. Right out of nowhere, that wrecking ball drop kick, saving his partner and then following up straight away with another drop kick of his own.
And the Undisputed Era continue to control this NXT Tag Team title match. And as soon as I speak, Rowe with the reversal. Oh, inside kick to the inner thigh of Rowe by O'Reilly. And oh, that crushing forearm smashing into the jawline of O'Reilly. O'Reilly explodes with a big boot to the face.
O'Reilly trying to control. Oh, he's out.
What a knee. Out like a light. Like a light.
Roderick Strong in there imploring Kyle O'Reilly to get over and make the tag.
Oh, look at Hanson. He wants Rowe to come over there and make that tag himself so he can get in there. Here we go.
Strong is in. Hanson's also the legal man. And Hanson and Strong flying with a towering back body drop. And a flurry of strikes from Hanson. War Raiders on the war path.
Oh, look at the big man go.
Cross body by Hanson. Deceptively quick and agile for a man his size. What a cartwheel escape. And O'Reilly gets turned inside out. Hanson in fuego in Phoenix.
Hanson looks like he needs to be on 205 Live with moves like that.
As the chants of war ring out, we take a look at the incredible power followed up by the agility. Wow! Of Hanson.
Look at the one-man wrecking crew go to work here tonight.
Hanson adding to NXT's lengthy highlight reel. O'Reilly, talk about a malfunction at the junction. Power slam by Hanson. Oh, Bronco Buster in the corner by one half of the War Raiders. Strong is the legal man. We could have new tag team champions. No.
But look, the War Raiders are this close. If they keep the pedal to the metal, I'm telling you, the NXT Tag Team Championship could change hands here tonight.
That's the key, though, Percy. They have to keep that gas pedal pushed down. And the longer this match goes, the tougher it's going to be for these big men.
Hanson attacking the body like it was filled with candy. Now going upstairs, but don't discount Strong. School of Hard Knocks. He's an alumni, and there he is with a step-up enziguri. Well, Strong lands on his feet. Oh, and what a vicious clothesline by Roderick Strong.
Slipped off the chest just underneath the jaw, and Hansen went down hard.
O'Reilly makes the tag, so does Rowe. And these two will make... Oh, O'Reilly with a roundhouse kick.
Did you see that? Rowe just ate that kick from O'Reilly.
Trying for the double leg.
O'Reilly changes levels.
Couldn't get it. Not enough leverage.
Oh, there! O'Reilly takes out the left leg of Rowe. And again, Bedlam here in this NXT Tag Team title match. Fireman's carry into a gutbuster by Roderick Strong.
Look at the bodies just flying out here.
Let the bodies hit the floor in Phoenix in this NXT Tag Team title match. Whoa! Tandem offense by War Raiders. Tope Suicida. Hansen wipes out Strong.
This is absolutely insane.
Oh, with the cover, O'Reilly escapes. Letters that spell the best NXT, and what a way to kick off TakeOver Phoenix. Look at Rowe continue to take that power late into this match. Ooh, slams O'Reilly down.
Oh, what's the big man doing?
With the splash! Hardbound Phoenix! Oh, Strong leaps in to rescue his partner. How close have the War Raiders come to becoming NXT Tag Team Champions?
At least 2 or 3 times in this matchup, a fraction of a second from leaving Phoenix with those titles.
Yeah, but close don't count. They got to find a way to put the proverbial final nail in that coffin if they want to be champions here tonight.
War Raiders treating O'Reilly like a crash test dummy, but oh! O'Reilly's no dummy! And Strong now ascends to the top of the turnbuckle.
Wait a second.
Hansen sits precariously.
No way. That's 300
No.
Superplex by Strong.
Hold on, O'Reilly.
O'Reilly diving knee across the face of Hansen. And still, War Raiders remain alive. A standing ovation from this raucous crowd in Phoenix.
Look at this. Roderick Strong, all that power that this man possesses, and the impact and the follow-up by Kyle O'Reilly. Watch the knee right on the jaw of Hansen. I thought that was it.
Pinpoint accuracy.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
This is awesome, and it's only the beginning of NXT TakeOver Phoenix, a heated battle for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Tag has made Strong the legal man.
But guys, what do you think is going on through the mind of the Undisputed Era? They have given everything to the War Raiders, and still.
Spinning elbows, Olympic slam, delivered with authority by Strong. The cover, hooks a leg, and still, Hansen has enough to kick out.
The NXT Universe imploring Hansen to fight forever, but the Undisputed Era are not going to let that happen.
Hansen picks him up. Oh, and a leaping knee strike by Strong, and there's the high-low. High-low.
Game over.
O'Reilly with the cover. Have we ever seen anyone kick out of the high-low since the Undisputed Era became NXT Tag Team Champions?
Strong and O'Reilly have beaten everybody they have hit with that.
Save for a spot of T title reign by Mustache Mountain, Undisputed Era dominated the tag team division, and that is why they are the 2018 Tag Team of the Year in NXT. Oh my goodness, Hansen still has life left in him. Oh, and another cartwheel escape by the agile Hansen. Handspring, double back elbow. What the hell? Tag is made and in comes Rowe.
Look at this!
Raw with the power slam, power bomb combination.
O'Reilly's dead weight. Oh! Viking full out.
Come on!
What?
Your winners and new NXT Tag Team Champions, War Raiders.
There is no emoji that adequately describes what we just witnessed, but it is the end of an era. The Raid, successful, Hanson and Rowe, War Raiders, have added to their war chest the NXT Tag Team titles.
What a glorious moment and a glorious night for the War Raiders as we take a look here for the Undisputed Era for a second. Wow! I thought that was it. Everybody in the arena. There was one person who didn't, and that was Hanson, who kicked out at the last second.
And we've seen the Undisputed Era beat everybody with that, but not the Undisputed Era. Check out the big man go yet again. Look at the athleticism of Hanson from the War Raiders.
And with that, another incredible display of power from these two huge individuals. With Roderick Strong taken out, it would be a dead weight Kyle O'Reilly. But the fallout and the fallout from this match is a new tag team champions.
We always knew that the end of an era would come one day, and we also knew that if anybody could take out the Undisputed Era, it would be these two men, Hanson, Rowe, new NXT Tag Team Champions.
Around the world, War Raiders have dominated the tag team division. And here at NXT TakeOver Phoenix, they become the new NXT Tag Team Champions.
Welcome to the Royal Rumble. What? Oh my God! I love it. Listen to this place.
I can't tell you how excited I am.
We got the power. 30 men, 30 women. The ultimate prize at stake.
The main event of WrestleMania.
For the first time ever, from the home of the Arizona Diamondbacks, Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona.
Well, all the superstars are here today. WWE United Kingdom Champion Pete Dunne and the NXT UK Women's Champion Toni Storm taking in all the action.
They got to speak of the champions, the North American champ. Ricochet said, if you wanted a title opportunity, all you had to do was ask. But you're not going to take anything. Tonight, Ricochet's put the title on the line. And if Johnny wants to smoke, tonight, he gets it.
But before that, it has been a tempestuous conflict between the knockout artist and the original Bro. Ever since Ono took umbrage to what he called one of William Regal's shiny new toys, things have spiraled out of control.
When I came back to NXT, there was so much buzz until there wasn't. There's always going to be someone new.
Bro.
Another blue chip signing. A guy who's taken the sports entertainment world by storm. That is Matt Riddle.
I fought in the UFC for 6 years. Been wrestling on the indies for 4. I think the time's right, and I'm gonna make my mark.
And whoever the next guy is, the next guy with buzz, I'm gonna be the first one to welcome you and to knock you to the back of the line. Cassius Ohno isn't going anywhere. You're a mirage, and I see through you. And when I step in the ring with you, Matt Riddle, it will take me 1 second to expose you.
Instead of being bitter, you should try being better, bro.
Whoa! Riddle hits him with the final flash. It's over in a flash. Oh my God! So the bell rang, and then Matt Riddle rang Cassius Ohno's bell.
Oh no, looking for retribution after what happened at TakeOver War Games.
The Pro Mission.
He's got it locked in.
There's a tap.
Riddle defeats Ohno again.
The despair on the face of Cassius Ohno. What's going to be going through his mind?
Cassius Ohno is a dangerous man. And if you don't know how dangerous I am, you will now.
Oh no! Oh, Ohno driving Riddle into the ring post. Oh, there will not be no fist bump tonight instead. Ohno destroying Matt Riddle at ringside.
You know who I am? You know what I've done, bro? You know what I've done, bro?
Shiny new toys. They're real fun to break.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Las Vegas, Nevada, the original bro, Matt Riddle.
Riddle celebrated his birthday earlier this month, and in his TakeOver debut at TakeOver War Games 2, he blew away Cassius Ohno faster than it takes to blow out candles on a birthday cake. And while their second meeting on NXT TV lasted a little bit longer, he is 2-0 against the Knockout Artist.
Hey, look, I don't mind making it, let me see it, making 3-0 here tonight. Keep in mind, after that last encounter with Cassius Ohno, he stuck out his hand to show sportsmanship. And what did Cassius Ohno do? Punched him in the mouth for it.
Well, there's no way that Cassius Ohno, the wily veteran that he is going to let Riddle get off scot-free.
Ohno used the olive branch as a switch.
And his opponent, from Dayton, Ohio, weighing in at 260 pounds, Cassius Ohno.
Cassius Ohno feels the world doesn't need another hero when it already has the Knockout Artist, but Ohno is 0 for 4 in NXT TakeOver matches.
Look, this is not the same Cassius Ohno that I knew, that I went and trained at FCW with. I don't know where this man's mentality is, but this is a man I've seen low blow Keith Lee. I don't know what's up with this dude.
WWE NXT TakeOver Phoenix is presented by Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 3 available January 29 on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One consoles. Make sure you pre-order today.
Cassius Ohno, not just a student of the game, he is a professor with an encyclopedic knowledge of sports entertainment.
Oh, don't get me wrong, yeah, Cassius Ohno is one of the greats here at NXT, but I mean, his moral compass is absolutely shot.
Yeah, Ohno, a grandmaster when it comes to sports entertainment version of chess, but for the lifelong student of the game, Nigel, it's not just about the checkmate. He wants to be #1, but Matt Riddle using the ring steps and exploding with a flying forearm on Ohno. Riddle taking umbrage with the fact that Ohno put him on the sidelines for a few weeks after ambushing him. Standing, wow, look at the athleticism. And there's Riddle taking a page out of Ohno's playbook with a senton.
Ohno couldn't dodge them all.
Knee strike from the original bro, lands strong.
Riddle wanting to showcase his strength while deadlifting Cassius Ohno, who is 6'5", over 270 pounds.
Matt Riddle is a strong competitor. Oh, but he walked right into that boot.
Riddle telling us that he was going to slap the hate out of Cassius Ohno's voice. Ohno refusing to call him bro, calls him a bum. Whoa, and Ohno lands up on the apron. There's another forearm from Riddle. Riddle looking for the sunset bomb. Wow! Ohno hanging on to the skirt around the ring. And look at that, the veteran Ohno.
That's the craftiness of a Cassius Ohno.
Absolutely.
Whatever it's to his disposal, right there, you saw it.
Brilliance, genius, experience from over 2 decades in sports entertainment. Covering up the face of the original bro, so Matt Riddle had no way of protecting himself.
Cassius Ohno used a low blow to defeat Matt Riddle's bro Keith Lee. Ohno crashes down with that leg drop and goes for the cover, gets a 2 count, but we have definitely seen a change in attitude from Cassius Ohno, looking for his first ever win at NXT TakeOver, and I guess he can take some semblance of victory in the fact that he lasted longer than 6 seconds in this match, Nigel.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not going to be as embarrassed in this matchup, but it certainly is somewhat of an ignominious record for Cassius Ohno. But Ohno, I said, has been around the block a long time.
Oh, and there's, wow, that, man, Riddle went down like the Korean Zombie from that elbow, the back press, and Ohno gets a 2.5 count. Now, the question is, did he do that on purpose, or did Riddle run right into that unorthodox elbow?
Could have been a 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, a bit of both.
Oh.
Either way, one thing that is absolutely without doubt is that Cassius Ohno is on top.
Ohno continues to call Riddle a bum. Ohno has sat under some of the greatest learning trees. Oh, what a boot to the face by the knockout artist. Oh! Riddle coming back with those open palm strikes.
Oh, nasty. A flurry of forearms and a back fist in a second. 3.
They don't call Ohno the knockout artist for nothing.
How relentless has Ohno been here tonight? Look, bottom line though, Ohno needs to win. Don't think General Manager Mr. William Regal hasn't noticed that he's 0-2 against the OG Bro.
Ohno put Riddle in a quiet place with that shot.
Remember this! Remember this!
And remember when Ohno ambushed Riddle on NXT TV, asking him if he remembers what just transpired.
Remember, it was back in December when Cassius Ohno destroyed the original.
And there sends him back into the stair steps. Deja vu all over again from Matt Riddle. Ohno utilizing the cravat to set up that high impact attack.
Look at the look there in the face. Oh, man. Nasty, right in the mush.
And that
following up into the ring steps as well. Look at the look on the face of Matt Riddle in agony.
But Cassius Ohno said before that the new toys are cheaply made and easily broken.
Ohno certainly trying to dismantle this toy.
Oh, what a vicious forearm by Ohno. Riddle desperately trying to hang on, summoning that inner resolve. Oh, what a kick! And yet Riddle still standing.
That's just fired up the original bro. He walked straight into a front face lock.
Oh, but Riddle right into the rear naked. Riddle with the sleeper on. Cassius Ohno, what a transition.
That's right underneath the jaw, across the carotid artery, but straight into the ropes.
Waistlock by Riddle.
No way.
Riddle looking for, and then Ohno stomps on the bare foot of Matt Riddle like he's putting out a cigarette.
Like it had broken a bone in the foot.
That's just smart, that's crafty, that is effective.
That's exactly right, Percy.
Oh, but Riddle blocks that attempt again, looking for that German suplex. What power and strength by Riddle. German suplex with a bridge for 2.5. incredible show of strength by the original Bro.
I can only imagine that adrenaline has to be flying through the body of Matt Riddle now to be able to hit that German suplex with a bridge, with an injured ankle. That's incredible tenacity.
Looking for his third consecutive victory against Cassius Ohno. Delivers 3 kicks, make it 4, 5. A cavalcade of kicks from Riddle.
But Ohno looking for this single leg ankle pick.
Oh, remember, he stomped on that left one now. Oh, my gosh.
No!
Oh, wow, and Pete Dunlap's finger food. Cassius Ohno has a thing for toes. What a knee strike. Was he biting his toes?
That's exactly what he was doing. He was doing what he needed to do.
Oh, no. Now some elbow, looking for the Liger Bomb. Ohno executes a Liger Bomb. Shoulders are down, and Ohno almost broke his losing streak at TakeOver.
Is that a look of desperation, perhaps, on the face of Cassius Ohno?
100%, yeah, Nigel. What does Cassius Ohno have in mind now?
Ohno going all the way to the top turnbuckle, doing whatever he can to snap the losing streak. Moonsault connects. Ohno looking to pick up his first TakeOver win, but it doesn't come right now.
Ohno didn't land that moonsault perfectly, didn't get all of his body weight across the chest there of Matt Riddle as we take another look. An incredible feat of agility nonetheless, but look where Ohno lands. The majority of his body weight past Matt Riddle. Nonetheless, a deep hook on the pinfall to make sure Matt Riddle expended some more energy kicking out.
And when you're a man Cassius Ohno size, even catching your opponent a little bit is going to hurt.
For sure, and you never see Cassius Ohno take to the skies often, but that's how important this match is to Cassius Ohno.
Oh, looking for the rolling elbow.
Whoa.
Big boot to the face. Riddle goes down. Senton splash by Cassius Ohno. Oh, and another. Oh, this time.
Whoa.
Riddle looking for the permission.
No, I think that's a rear naked clutch.
Yes, yeah, he's got him in the sleeper. And this time, Ohno able to make it to the bottom rope. Remember, it was Riddle who vanquished Ohno the last time with his patented submission. And now just stomping away on Cassius Ohno.
That Bro Mission version of the MMA Twister spine crank that was made famous by Eddie Bravo. Can he get it again?
Our NXT Women's Champion, Shayna Baszler, also known for pulling off a twister in MMA competition. She defends against Bianca Belair later tonight here at TakeOver Phoenix. Now it's Cassius Ohno looking for the fist bump in the middle of this heated battle, and instead Riddle says, riddle me this, knee strike to the face.
Learned his lesson from last time.
Oh, sleeper suplex by Riddle. What torque, what execution.
Elbow strikes. Ohno trying to defend himself, but he can't get his arm up.
The knockout artist.
There's a tap.
Yes, he is tapping. Ohno is tapping, and the referee finally sees it. Ohno getting a piece of his own medicine as Riddle looks to knock out Cassius Ohno, and he sends Ohno to his 5th loss at TakeOvers.
An incredible display of fury from the original Bro there. The official was on the wrong side, didn't see the tap until a little bit later, but incredible.
And Riddle just let Cassius Ohno have it. The knockout artist is still tapping out.
And we witnessed all of the incredible offensive arsenal that the original Bro Matt Riddle possesses, proving to be the real deal, continues to be Cassius Ohno's worst nightmare.
As Cassius Ohno would extend the olive branch, but there was no way that Matt Riddle was taking it a second time. Instead, dumping Ohno high angle across the shoulders. And then following up with these elbow strikes. Ohno, and there the tap, as I said, on the opposite side of the official. The official finally seeing the tap on the mat.
Matt Riddle absolutely furious, letting go of his rage on the knockout artist Cassius Ohno tonight.
The Bro Show continues to earn rave reviews at NXT TakeOver Phoenix. Matt Riddle vanquishes Cassius Ohno for the 3rd time.
to WrestleMania. The irresistible force meeting the inevitable. The boyhood dream has come true. Miracle on Bourbon Street.
This is WWE Network, and it's on.
Lead to WrestleMania. The only place to see every live pay-per-view is right here on WWE Network.
You're listening to Hold My Breath by Alien Weaponry, an NXT Live theme song for NXT TakeOver Phoenix. It's available now on iTunes and Spotify.
'18 Male Competitor of the Year, also in the 2018 NXT Rivalry of the Year, with Johnny Gargano, NXT Champion Tommaso Ciampa admiring Goldie as he gets to defend the title tonight against ex-champion Aleister Black.
I wonder who is joining us here tonight at Talking Stick Arena. The showstopper, the Velveteen Dream, has arrived, and apparently the man is rolling deep. And you better believe he thinks he should be competing tonight and kicking off Royal Rumble weekend.
Well, Dream was upset that he wasn't booked on tonight's card, but he will have a different opportunity because he is one of 15 superstars who will compete in the first ever Worlds Collide tournament. A 15-man battle royal and marquee matches with the ultimate winner getting a title opportunity of his choosing. The semi-finals and final are exclusively on the WWE Network next Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, but earlier in the day at noon Eastern, you can follow along with the first round and quarterfinals streaming on YouTube, Facebook, WWE.com, the WWE app, and Twitter. Worlds Collide.
And guys, this surely will be a collision to remember. Gargano now has his eyes set on the North American Championship thanks to Tommaso Ciampa. But in order to claim the title for his own, he has to go through one of the most talented champions the world has ever seen, the one and only Ricochet. And tonight, we find out who leads the valley with the North American Championship.
In 2018, a lot of people thought they knew what was best for Johnny Gargano.
Ciampa helped Johnny Gargano defeat Aleister Black in this steel cage match.
You asked the champ, maybe Johnny should have an opportunity at the North American title.
The only man that knows what's best for Johnny Gargano is Johnny Gargano.
In 2019,
Johnny, I know you're listening.
I know my end game.
Think about it.
It's become the man I was always meant to be.
North American champion.
Johnny Gargano will become champion.
This is our takeover, Johnny.
But don't get confused about a moment in the cage that meant nothing. But if I want the North American Championship, I'm gonna take it.
If you wanted an opportunity at the North American title, all you had to do was ask. But you're gonna take it, huh? Let me ask you a question. Are you gonna take it from me man to man, or after attacking me behind my back in a parking lot?
Johnny Gargano just kicked Ricochet!
The way I see it, 2019 Johnny Gargano is the same person as 2018 Johnny Gargano.
I'm kind of starting to like it.
All you finally did was you showed the world your true colors.
Ricochet, can we get a word?
All the respect that I had for Johnny before, he super kicked away.
But in 2018, I showed my true colors when I won this. I am the one and only.
That's not just a catchy nickname. Ricochet is a one-of-a-kind athlete. He flies around that ring like a superhero. You know what I do when I feel like being a superhero? I just wake up in the morning.
I've known Johnny for a long time, but something's different. This isn't the same Johnny.
This past year has changed me.
Johnny Gargano, a tortured soul.
I'm very much so in control. But the difference between me and Ricochet, he never had to fight. He never had to scratch. He never had to claw.
I went out there and I won. Opportunity is only good if you deliver. And that right there might be the biggest difference between Johnny Gargano and Ricochet.
You hear something so often. It starts getting your head a little bit. You want me to be a bad guy so bad? I'll be the baddest guy they've ever seen.
Johnny that I know, he's still in there. I'll knock some sense back into him.
Take over Phoenix.
I showed the NXT universe I am something that Johnny Gargano is not.
Johnny Gargano will become champion.
The following contest, scheduled for one fall, is for the NXT North American Championship. Introducing the challenger, from Cleveland, Ohio, weighing in at 199 pounds, Johnny Gargano.
Johnny Gargano has christened himself Mr. Takeover, appearing tonight in his record 12th Takeover match. Unfortunately, Percy, his record at Takeover, well, it rivals that of his beloved Cleveland Browns.
Oh, Mr. Johnny Takeover is now starting to believe his own hype. Gargano says that success is determined by two things, wins and championships. In 2019, he will become a champion. But is that accurate?
Yeah, but Nigel, he hasn't been getting many wins at TakeOver. That was my point.
Right, absolutely, when it comes to wins and losses, and perhaps that is Johnny Gargano's point. He realizes he can call himself Johnny Wrestling all he wants, but he gets some ticks in the win columns. Doesn't count for much.
He has known Ricochet for over 10 years. They've competed against each other all over the world. He tweeted that tonight. Well, he needs this one. Hashtag NU.
And his opponent, from Paducah, Kentucky, weighing in at 190 pounds, he is the NXT North American Champion, Ricochet!
No surprise that the one and only Ricochet, the current NXT North American Champion, was voted the 2018 NXT Breakout Star of the Year. Most nights he left the NXT universe breathless.
I'll tell you what, we've seen this man perform on a nightly basis in NXT, and this man can absolutely fly. Title on the line, you better believe he wants to leave the desert with it still in place, still intact, wrapped around his waist.
It was a year ago at TakeOver Philadelphia that Johnny Gargano was involved in the 2018 NXT Match of the Year against then NXT Champion Andrade, and he was also in the Rivalry of the Year with current NXT Champion Tommaso Ciampa, but again, delivering in matches, putting on a show is one thing, but it all comes down to the W's, and Johnny Gargano seeks one of the biggest wins of his career here tonight.
I think then perhaps it comes back to the thing that Ricochet said. Is the 2019 Johnny Gargano the same as the 2018 Johnny Gargano?
You can sense the electricity here in Phoenix, the NXT universe salivating at the prospects of what they're about to witness. The bell goes. NXT North American Championship up for grabs. The singular aerial artist, Ricochet, defending against the technical wizardry of Johnny Gargano.
Nice simple wrist lock to take things up. And some technical expertise from Johnny Wrestling as well.
Reversal by Ricochet with the side wrist lock. Beautiful kick up by Gargano. Deep arm drag by Johnny Gargano as beautiful rolling crucifix into the pinning predicament. And this is where Gargano is expected to have the edge on Ricochet. Again, goes into the cover, but only one count. Oh, and remember Ricochet on the receiving end of that thunderous super kick on NXT TV.
Now you better believe Ricochet did not forget about that, but this Johnny Gargano, this is the technical Johnny Gargano that I'm used to seeing. I wonder if we'll keep seeing the same thing going forward as this match progresses.
It's also a very confident Johnny Gargano that we're seeing here. And you have to wonder, where does that confidence come from? Is it perhaps, I mean, we saw a very limited collusion with Tommaso Ciampa on NXT TV recently.
Johnny Gargano is responsible for Tommaso Ciampa being the NXT champion. Of course, responsible for attacking Aleister Black last summer. But now here against Ricochet, he needs to put all of that out of his mind. He needs to be laser focused. He's a former NXT Tag Team Champion, but singles gold has eluded him. He knows that tonight he needs to put it all on the line.
Johnny Gargano knows he's going to have to take some risks. Risk making some mistakes.
Shoulder tackle by Gargano, the kip up by the uber athletic Ricochet. And there's an aggressive response by Gargano. Isadora. Oh, and Gargano again, the rolling crucifix, but Ricochet gets up and has Gargano. Oh, but the roll-up by Johnny Wrestling. Quick reversals here by Ricochet and Gargano. You can tell that these two have crossed paths myriad times throughout their illustrious career.
Oh, yeah.
These guys have just warmed up to each other all night so far. Here we go.
A Mystica there by Ricochet. Lands on his feet after Johnny Gargano trying to get the better of him.
What Johnny am I going to get tonight? What Johnny am I going to get?
Oh, and Ricochet was asking Gargano, which Johnny Gargano are we going to get? And, well, he got his answer.
For a second there, it looked like neither man had the advantage, but Johnny Gargano taking an advantage.
Well, Ricochet asking him, are we going to get the Gargano who's Johnny Wrestling or the guy who attacked Aleister Black in the parking lot at Full Sail last summer? Well, Ricochet got his answer, and it wasn't the one I think he was looking for.
I truly think that the man that can fly knows what he was going to get in Johnny Gargano. He said that Johnny Gargano showed his true colors. He's a liar. He's deceitful.
Future of Flight is here in the form of Ricochet. Head scissors takeover. Kip up. Drop kick by the North American champion. Please return your seat backs to their full upright and lock position. Oh, Ricochet lands on the apron. Wow! A side moonsault from the corner by Ricochet, making it look oh so easy.
As it says on his left shoulder, he is absolutely fearless, and he'll show you time and time again just why. Take a look at Ricochet.
Absolutely effortless moonsault K-Brada. As though gravity just took a break. Wham! Strong chop right into the pec.
Ricochet telling us he's never called himself Mr. Takeover. He's never asked to be called that either. However, the NXT Universe may have other plans. After all, became North American champion at TakeOver. Dethroning Adam Cole, and He almost got defanged there by that back elbow to the mouth by Johnny Gargano, who's now in a precarious position.
Gargano's toes hooked under the middle rope to keep him from falling backwards. And what Ricochet had in mind there didn't pay off, certainly.
Oh, but that right hand does. Rocks Johnny Gargano's whiskers. And again, Ricochet going all the way to the top turnbuckle. Oh, but Johnny Gargano slips out from underneath and face first to the top turnbuckle. Ricochet crashes down in a heap.
Ricochet is absolutely dazed. Look at this one more time. Johnny Gargano only needed a half a second to turn things around and put Ricochet down.
Like an elevator dropping down a shaft. Crashed hard into that top turnbuckle.
Ground and pound being administered by Gargano. Ricochet doing his best to block these strikes from Gargano.
We've yet to see a sign whether this really is a new Johnny Gargano or not.
Oh! Gargano looking to prove he's not a failure, that he's a winner, going for the win here.
We've heard sometimes some of the words that came out of Johnny Gargano's mouth, dare I say it, almost sounded like Tommaso Ciampa.
I don't know, Nigel, but I tell you what, it will be a new Johnny Gargano if he wins the North American Championship here tonight.
Gargano, a Cleveland native, developing a cavalier attitude and now tying Ricochet up. Ricochet trying to escape with those back elbows, forcing the break.
Nice strong forearm with the right.
Reversal on the Irish whip. Ricochet sweeps out the leg of Johnny Gargano, and Gargano!
Gargano had that scouted.
Short-circuiting that high-impact offensive maneuver by Ricochet.
Oh! Driving the knee to the back of the neck into
Gargano
the cover.
with a back press. 2 count only.
Interesting strategy there from Johnny Gargano. He was lying on his back, and I think it was Ricochet was trying for a moonsault. But a lot of times guys will lie in wait and then put their knees up at the last minute. Johnny Gargano didn't wait. He just kicked him out of the air.
Gargano was stretching Ricochet's body like it's silly putty, but now with the arm wringer looking for maybe a modified, oh wow, just really tying up Ricochet into this pinning predicament. And Gargano utilizing all of his limbs.
Oh, look at the torque on the deltoid.
This is how you separate a shoulder.
Well, this is why he's known as Johnny Wrestling.
Almost like a surgeon there.
This is not where Ricochet wants to be. Johnny Gargano is in complete control of this situation right now.
Oh, the Gargano's shoulders are down for a 2 count as Ricochet looking to turn the tables. What a devastating chop.
That chop was across the throat of Ricochet.
Exactly where it was. Oh, and a boot to the side of the jaw. We're starting to see just the beginnings here of a more aggressive, nasty, vicious side of Johnny Gargano, perhaps.
Yeah, Gargano showing no fear in battling the nastiest brawlers, guys like Tommaso Ciampa, and he is showing that in addition to his wrestling ability, well, he can fight fire with fire, and you can never discount Johnny Gargano's heart.
You got to think with all of his issues with Ciampa, you can't be surprised that some of it didn't rub off on him.
Sunset flip attempt, well scouted by Ricochet. Ricochet picks up Johnny Gargano. Tip up, Gargano lands on his feet on the apron. Oh! And Ricochet avoiding. Ooh, beautiful. Wow, he landed on the back of Gargano with that standing moonsault.
I'm not sure if perhaps Ricochet thought that Gargano was flat to the mat, so he tried the moonsault, and when he landed, Gargano was on his knees, so took some of the brunt into his midsection.
And of course, Gargano missing with that slingshot spear. But Gargano and Ricochet both on their feet. Gargano trying to break down the high-flying NXT North American champion.
Ooh. Ricochet's almost out on his feet.
Knife edge chop by Ricochet. Keeps him in this matchup, and now Ricochet coming back with a series of right hands. Oh, and that lariat levels Gargano momentarily, and Ricochet pulls off the flying head scissors. Ooh, European uppercut in the corner, and Ricochet using all points of his limbs. Tiger fake kick to Gargano. Springboard European uppercut as Ricochet sails through the air.
Creative way into the front face lock.
Northern Lights suplex.
And how strong.
Wow!
Ricochet.
Brainbuster by Ricochet, showcasing his strength, athleticism, and almost a victory right there as he tries to retain the NXT North American Championship. Royal Rumble weekend getting started in style, courtesy of NXT. Tomorrow, Royal Rumble comes to you from the home of the Arizona Diamondbacks, Chase Field. And of course, Johnny Gargano chasing the North American Championship.
Showing a lot of tenacity doing that as well, Morrow. Digging deep, intestinal fortitude. Oh, hold on a second. Looking for a suplex there, but nice block from Gargano.
Palm strikes by Gargano.
Half Nelson, back elbow connects for Ricochet. Hard-hitting affair between two of the very best in the world in Ricochet and Johnny Gargano. Springboard, but this time Gargano avoids the impact. Oh, and Gargano into the power bomb, and he gets a 2.5.
Hold on a second.
Crossface by Gargano.
Oh, Ricochet's in trouble right here. Ricochet may have to tap.
Ricochet grabbing there at the wrist of Johnny Gargano, trying to break that monkey grip. Great job from Gargano, positioning himself between Ricochet and the bottom rope.
And now Gargano looking to get him into the Gargano escape.
Nope, just couldn't get it. Ricochet too strong.
Oh, La Magistral here by Gargano, but well scouted. Ricochet drops his weight on Gargano for a quick 2 count. It's incredible to see how well scouted, how much data has been collected by these two superstars. Case in point.
Speaking of that, Morrow, you called it.
These two superstars know each other so well.
Wow, Ricochet dumping Gargano out of the ring, and Gargano hit his rib cage hard on the apron on the way down. Ricochet flies through the air and flattens Gargano.
High pace, Fosbury flop dive as we take a look here. It was Ricochet scouting that DDT attempt. And then following up with this, Fosbury flop, landing hard.
Fosbury flop was not a flop for the North American champion. Gargano trying to regain his faculties in the corner. Big boot to the face of Ricochet. Walked right into that European uppercut.
Something flew out of the mouth of Gargano.
Let's hope it wasn't his teeth. Oh, standing shooting star press by Ricochet, pulling out all the stops. Moonsault from the second turnbuckle. Will Ricochet retain the title?
Oh, man. How in the world is Johnny Gargano staying alive in this match?
And Nigel, how was Ricochet able to utilize so much oxygen still to pull off these high-risk, high-impact maneuvers?
Well, I think it's partly genetics, it's partly training. I mean, this young man we've seen time and time again, when matches go deep, he's always there.
And of course, Johnny Gargano has been so close. Look at the resolve by Johnny Gargano. Ricochet again wanting to utilize the real estate, wanting to put that show on for the NXT Universe.
Gargano knows how dangerous Ricochet is on the top rope, and that's why he's so adamant that he was going to stop the one and only from getting up there.
Yeah, agreed. He knows he can't take one more big high offensive maneuver from Ricochet. It can be all over. His chances of being champion could be all over in a second.
It was 1 year ago at TakeOver Philadelphia where Johnny Gargano almost became NXT champion against then champion Andrade. It was voted the 2018 NXT Match of the Year. We could be seeing the 2019 Match of the Year unfold in front of our very eyes.
Whoa.
What the heck is What's Gargano thinking? looking for that Frankensteiner, and again.
Too much power from Ricochet.
The game of chess is being played.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow!
Did you
Ricochet lands on his feet. Mamma mia!
Gargano can't believe it.
Johnny wants the smoke. This man Ricochet is on fire.
Can you believe it, Nigel?
No one can.
Oh, step up enziguri by Gargano. He runs right into another European uppercut. This time Ricochet ducks down. Oh, and Ricochet misses with the backflip kick. What a knee strike, super kick. But that one didn't drop Ricochet like it did on NXT TV. He didn't quite get it, O'Connor. Oh, backflip kick there by Ricochet lands.
What incredible action.
A titanic struggle for the NXT North American title. Handspring. Oh, looking for the back elbow. Right into the Gargano escape. Gargano escape.
Beautiful transition from Gargano.
Gargano can sense becoming a singles champion for the first time in NXT, but Ricochet already back up to a vertical base, deadlifting the challenger. Incredible. The power, the grit, the guts, the heart, all of the ingredients for what is becoming another instant NXT classic.
Ricochet just having Johnny Gargano. I don't even think he knew where he is. He just wanted to get rid of him and landed him in the corner in the turnbuckle.
It has been absolutely incredible what these two superstars have given. And it speaks volumes about how prestigious and how valuable the North American title is to both these superstars.
Adam Cole was the inaugural North American champion, dethroned by Ricochet, and now Ricochet in the fight of his life here is again Gargano rolling away.
Great ring presence from Johnny Gargano. He knew he was in danger. He knows, at least for a second, he's safer now.
I think Ricochet realizes he got Johnny Gargano exactly where he wants him.
Well, wait a second. I think Gargano realized where he was on the apron. They can boo all they want, but...
Oh, God!
Did you see
Ricochet sailed over the top turnbuckle, wiping out Gargano!
Did you see him? He waved it off. I got this. Don't even worry about it. I'll find him.
Springboard 450! Ricochet hits the spot! Gargano shows his heart in kicking out! What a breathtaking dive here by Ricochet!
Not even worried about it. Take him to the sky. That man wants to retain his North American Championship here in Phoenix.
Again, Ricochet on the top turnbuckle.
Gargano a long way out.
Shooting star press right into the knees. And cradle, quick cradle here. Small package by Gargano. Gargano almost became North American champion. Wow.
But I think those knees to the abdomen of Ricochet took a lot out of him right there.
But again, you have to wonder, Ricochet going to the well again with another scintillating shooting star press. But it didn't end well, Nigel.
It was the experience of Johnny Gargano lying in wait and bringing those knees up at the last second when there was no way for Ricochet to change his trajectory.
Because these two know each other so well, there needs to be adjustments made. Ricochet may have to change course. Oh, damn, what super kick sends Ricochet crashing to the outside.
The force and the velocity of that super kick through the jaw of Ricochet sent Ricochet to the outside.
Tommaso Ciampa told Gargano he can do it himself. Gargano says, I can't. Tumble right into Ricochet. Unbelievable. Oh, reverse Rana. Reverse spike Rana. Ricochet's head crashes to the outside. This has to be it. Gargano on the verge of becoming North American champion. Slingshot DDT plants the champion. Gargano. No! Gargano rolling Ricochet over to the center of the ring. Gargano beginning to sense that his time is now. But instead of going for the cover, Gargano's on the outside.
Gargano looks frustrated.
He's talking to himself.
No,
oh, what?
no.
Oh!
This is like the unsanctioned match against Tommaso Ciampa.
At WrestleMania weekend last year in New Orleans, the tortured soul of Johnny Gargano. Crisis of confidence, a crisis of heart.
But why take it to this extent? He's got Ricochet down already.
Good question, Nigel. Why?
Gargano frustrated. And if you can't beat him within the rules, maybe you have to bend them.
Referee is warning Gargano, this is not how you become North American champion. And thankfully, Johnny Gargano comes to his senses. He has to pin or submit Ricochet if he wants to. Oh, roll up by Ricochet. Oh, 2.5. Ricochet blocks that super kick attempt. The cat and mouse game has been incredible. Oh, what? Oh, clothesline.
Good Lord.
And again, why didn't he go for the cover?
Because he's got better intentions, Morrow.
The best laid plans. Phoenix lands, Ricochet lands. He's able to recover. Oh, what a super kick. What a kick by Gargano. Oh, and Gargano now. What the? And Ricochet's going for the Gargano escape. Talk about adding insult to injury if Ricochet were to retain the title via the Gargano escape.
Man, you called it, Mo. You're talking about a mental break. Gargano will never be able to live with himself if he loses to the Ricochet with the Gargano escape.
Look how far Gargano is from the bottom rope.
Yeah, but Ricochet didn't have the grip.
Just couldn't hold it.
And Gargano able to regroup. Both superstars in a taxing battle. Both of them need to make adjustments. It's, I believe, going to come down to who makes a critical error, and probably due to fatigue, probably due to the fact that they have gone together, added like, you know, hammer and tongs here, Nigel.
Back and forth, both superstars.
And I agree with the NXT Universe. I wouldn't mind if they fought forever. Oh!
Nasty, driving Ricochet right back into the post. That was the exact same thing that happened in Gargano's match against Andrade that caused Gargano to lose that match.
It was the 2018 NXT match of the year. Gargano's looking at the floor. The exposed floor of Gargano.
What Gargano we're dealing with.
No! Oh my God! On the exposed floor, Gargano just drove Ricochet straight down. Oh my God, Ricochet's barely moving, you guys.
Hey, look, if you didn't know which Johnny Gargano we were dealing with, now you know. Take a look at this on the exposed floor.
And again, this time Gargano realizing in order to become champion, he has to roll Ricochet back into the ring.
Well, it's hard when you make assurances. Johnny Gargano said, I will be champion. And sometimes you have to take risks. And you have to make sacrifices. And you have to become a deeper, darker person to do that.
Gargano saying, I win, and he's on the verge! He's on the verge of winning! We are about to crown a new NXT North American champion!
What the? Oh my God!
Wrestling has finally done it!
New NXT North American champion, Johnny Gargano!
After so much emotional turmoil, after coming oh so close on this night in Phoenix, Gargano has indeed risen from the ashes of prior title opportunities, and Johnny Wrestling is the new NXT North American champion.
Gargano licking his lips, savoring every second.
I gotta say, along with so many people in the NXT universe, I had my reservations when it came to Johnny Gargano. I wasn't sure if I believed him when he said in 2019 he will become a champion. But I tell you what, he changed my mind because the man stands tall with the title held in his hand tonight.
Well, it was a match where both superstars would try to outsmart one another. Here, the incredible agility of the one and only, and the shock on the face of Johnny Gargano. Again, it would be Gargano lying in wait, shooting star press, driving the knees into the midsection, and a small package. Oh, coming ever so close.
But look at the face of Johnny Gargano. He knows exactly what he has to do in order to become champion here tonight. But this is not the way. So much impact. Took a lot out of Johnny Gargano himself.
And after that, he simply said, I win.
Bam! With that DDT, that was exactly what Johnny Gargano did. A hook of the leg. And at that point, it was academic. We have a new NXT North American champion.
The journey started at the age of 16. And the childhood dream has been realized. A man who has been on the highways and byways. A man who has had to overcome so many obstacles. The ultimate underdog is the top dog in the NXT North American division.
Well, if success is measured by wins and championships, Johnny Gargano is Mr. Success.
The stage is set. Ronda Rousey will face off against Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship.
You have accomplished pretty much everything.
Rousey continues to dominate.
Except you have never beaten me.
Trying to get under the skin of Ronda Rousey's a bold move.
Come Royal Rumble, your reign as champion is over.
This one is going to be off the chains exciting. It's time to get rowdy.
We are in the Valley of the Sun, where the sun is just set on Ricochet's North American title reign. Johnny Gargano, the new NXT North American champion. 2 more title matches coming your way at TakeOver Phoenix.
Well, is the sun rising for Bianca Belair? With each successive victory, the undefeated Bianca Belair has taken one step closer to tonight's NXT Women's Championship opportunity. Will the journey end with Belair backing up her superlative assertions, or will Baszler be Belair's Waterloo?
Shayna Baszler, the merciless women's champion.
She is dangerous,
ruthless,
malicious,
disagreeable,
calculating.
She stands tall. The first ever 2-time NXT Women's Champion.
I spent the entire year winning.
We have a new Women's Champion.
And defending this title.
Baszler continues to prove that she has what it takes.
They can't stand that I have this title because they know that there's not a single thing they can do about it.
Has there been a hotter NXT superstar than Bianca Belair?
I'm the strongest, I'm the toughest, I'm the fastest.
Wow! Unbelievable athleticism.
Shayna's gonna find out that I'm the best.
Belair will challenge Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's title at TakeOver Phoenix.
Shayna, she had a great year, first ever 2-time champion, but you know what that means? She's lost. And guess who hasn't?
KOD leads to the 1, 2, 3.
I am undefeated. I'm undefeated.
Bianca Belair remains unblemished heading into TakeOver Phoenix.
And I'm going to take that title from Shayna.
You know, I can understand the things that Bianca's gonna feel. I've been there 1 year ago, in fact.
Baszler challenging for the Women's Championship in her very first TakeOver.
And look what I did. People fear this title now. That's what a title should mean.
You know what? I know Marina and Jessamyn pick up the slack for Shayna.
Marina Shafir and Jessamyn Duke help Shayna Baszler win the NXT Women's Championship.
Are you worried about these two?
Our role for each other is the same as it's always gonna be. We have each other's back.
You're like every opponent that won't put their money where their mouth is and actually fight me.
If I have to take on 3 girls to get to the title, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Nothing's gonna get in my way.
Oh, slap!
Doesn't matter how strong you are. Doesn't matter how fast you are. You still need air to breathe.
The Queen of Spades can never be taken lightly.
My whole life, I've thrived under pressure. And it takes a lot of pressure to create a diamond. And this diamond is going to shine the brightest at TakeOver.
I'm on my own, against the wall. The pressure's building, but no, I will never fall. Instead of crying, they hear me roar. And now I see that I'm way better.
Hard to believe it was only a couple of years ago when Bianca Belair stepped into the WWE Performance Center. Just 5 months later, she made her professional debut. And Nigel, she went from 0 to an NXT Women's Championship match real quick. And our own Sam Roberts during the pre-show causing a firestorm on social media saying maybe it's too soon for Double B. Do you agree?
Absolutely not. I don't know what's wrong with Sam Roberts, but I mean, perfectly. What could you want more than an undefeated record? What more does Bianca Belair have to do to prove that she deserves a title opportunity?
Well, she made a believer out of me personally when she won that fatal 4-way to become the #1 contender, overcoming a lot of competition with more experience. And the one thing that really impresses me about her, she's not swallowed up by the magnitude of the moment.
I completely agree with you. She defeated Mia Yim, Lacey Evans, Io Shirai. Now this woman has the biggest test of her career against Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship.
Well, she certainly doesn't seem to be swallowed up by the moment. We will find out once this match starts exactly whether that's true or not, Percy.
The Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler, the only 2-time NXT Women's Champion, of course, with a little help of her friends Marina Shafir, Jessamyn Duke helping to dethrone Kairi Sane. There's a huge WWE supporter, Peter Strauss.
World-class guitarist. Yep, the Iron Maiden, a member of Alice Cooper's band as well.
And Shayna Baszler knows a thing or two about the guitar, the axe.
NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler wants to put the axe to Belair tonight. She wants to put the EST to REST here in Phoenix.
Baszler telling us no matter how good you are, you still need air to breathe, alluding to the Kirifuda clutch. And of course, this is going to come down to the incredible strength and athleticism of Bianca Belair and the guile and brutality of Shayna Baszler.
The following contest, scheduled for one fall, is for the NXT Women's Championship. Introducing the challenger, from Knoxville, Tennessee, Bianca Belair. And her opponent, from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, she is the NXT Women's Champion, Shayna Baszler.
A vociferous response for the champion. If you take a look at Bianca Belair, she looks confident. She may feel confident, but a good punch to the face may quickly kill that confidence.
All about the NXT Women's Championship. The first champion, Paige, her story to be shared on WWE Chronicle immediately following NXT TakeOver here on the WWE Network. But Baszler, the first ever two-time champion, ready to defend against Bianca Belair. And yes, you must beware the hair, known for using that hair whip.
Do you think to some extent Shayna Baszler has a little bit of concern with Belair's record? I mean, if you think about it just mathematically, the odds are not in Baszler's favor. Bianca Belair is undefeated, and that may continue here tonight.
What do you mean, Percy? I don't really understand what you're saying.
What do you mean? I mean, she is undefeated. Do you think that bothers her? Does that rattle the champion slightly, knowing that no one on the NXT roster could beat this woman?
Well, I think
the only place you find success before work is the dictionary, and Bianca Belair has put in all the work at the Performance Center. Meanwhile, Baszler, a noted mixed martial artist before she made it to the final of the inaugural Mae Young Classic, and then defeated Kairi Sane to become the two-time champion. And it's all about the here and now, guys. And you can see there. Oh! Bianca Belair get the tables turned as Baszler has heard enough of the loquacious one.
Baszler said that she was going to turn.
Wow, there you go. Just like the first opportunity here for Belair, making the most of it thus far is now Baszler with the side headlock, armring her into the hammerlock, immediately to the side headlock, and Baszler now just wanting to wear down Belair.
It seems clear to me that the champion really doesn't respect the challenger at all.
I think that could be vice versa as well, as the strength of Belair on display.
I caught something earlier in the match. Belair was breathing deeply, and to me, that shows perhaps she's a little bit scared of the champion.
Reversal on the Irish whip, but Belair tip up. And again, showing off her athleticism. All-American honors in track and field at the University of Tennessee. Competed in CrossFit.
It seems like Bianca Belair is scared of Shayna Baszler. I think not, Nigel.
Well, she may just be covering it well, Percy. I don't know. We'll see. Once Baszler opens up a bag of tricks, we'll see what happens.
The former powerlifter Belair settling in now, and I know those butterflies in her stomach had to be the size of seagulls, but here she is now with a first opportunity at becoming NXT Women's Champion. And I usually say beware the hair, but it's Baszler utilizing Belair's follicles to her advantage.
That is so dangerous. The champion, when she sees an opportunity, she takes it. Look here, she saw the hair, grabbed it at the last second, and then, oh! I know from first-hand experience how that ring post feels.
And Baszler just enjoys hurting people by any means necessary.
Well, I will give Belair this. She may be the only opponent that Shayna Baszler faced who is a better athlete than Shayna Baszler.
Referee's count is up to 6. Remember, Belair has to break a 10 count.
No.
Oh, she has injured her arm, and she can't, that shoulder, but she's able to roll in, showing her guts, because Baszler now with the full mount, ground and pound. Baszler beating down the challenger, back press, hooks a leg, and Belair forced to kick out. And we'll see how Belair overcomes this early taste of adversity at the hands of the NXT Women's Champion.
Well, the big problem for Belair now, you can understand why.
Oh, God.
She's
Ask Dakota Kai.
She's shown clear as day. She is injured now.
Oh, no, we have seen this before. Bianca Belair in a perilous position. Oh, oh no! Oh, my God!
Shayna Baszler is going to eat Bianca Belair alive.
Still in this, Bianca. Shake that.
The referee tending to Bianca Belair. Is she going to be able to continue?
I hate to use a cliche, but this is exactly like putting blood in the water with a shark.
I guess we'll find out when it comes to Bianca Belair, but there's a lot of fight left in Belair. You better believe that.
And the true measure of someone is how they deal with adversity. And Bianca Belair tasting adversity here against NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler, continuing to focus her attack on that left arm. Now moves into full mount momentarily.
Look at that, the spinning armbar reminiscent of Pat O'Connor. Believe it or not, O'Connor has used that spinning armbar to beat people in the 1950s or 1960s. That shows the student of the game.
Well, and speaking of students, Belair, again, still very much in the early stages of what has been a sensational start to her career. She may be in over her head here, guys, and maybe, dare I say it, our panel was right, Nigel.
Well, potentially, I mean, I don't know. It could speak, perhaps. You could say that potentially Shayna Baszler is just so dominant as the champion, you can't find a credible challenger.
Hold on, Baszler with the cover.
Oh, the cover by Baszler for a 2. It was at TakeOver New Orleans last year that Baszler beat Ember Moon to become NXT Women's Champion for the first time. Lost the title to Kairi Sane before regaining it at Evolution.
Talk there on the double wrist lock.
The catch wrestling specialist, the first female certified as a catch wrestler by the legendary late great Billy Robinson. And Baszler with the sleeper.
Wow. Trying.
And Belair, though, backs her into the corner, breaks the grip. And remember what Baszler said about as good as you are, you still need to breathe, and she is making sure that she is stealing the breath out of Bianca Belair's body. And stealing her soul at the same time with that kick. Good for a 2 count.
And look at the smirk on the face of the NXT Women's Champion, Shayna Baszler. She's enjoying inflicting this punishment on Belair here tonight.
Certainly is an element of sadism. The NXT Women's Champion.
Baszler mocking Belair, saying, "You're the EST of NXT, huh?"
Rubbing Belair's words in her face.
You are overrated.
Oh, that wasn't an overrated slap delivered by Belair. Remember, she doubled down, slapping Baszler on NXT TV recently. And now Belair trying to get back into this championship match. Using her size and strength, driving the air out of the lungs of Baszler. Hip toss by Belair out of the corner. Wow, oh wow, with that injured shoulder. Man, you talk about knowing what's at stake, Percy.
Man, look, Baszler may have the technical aspect of this game down packed, but if Belair can utilize more of her power, we can see this match go a completely different way.
By Belair,
and onto the
injured shoulder and the back press, and Baszler powers out.
Certainly I've been impressed with the heart and the tenacity of Bianca Belair. But heart and tenacity can only get you so far when you're in there with a submission artist.
Oh, Baszler kicks out after 1.
Great agility from Belair as well, and then driving the shoulder with the spear. The injured shoulder, and had to use the other shoulder to hook a leg.
Belair told us that the only thing that Baszler could possibly try to do is work harder than her, which she doesn't. And Belair believes she's already way more talented. And Belair putting her skills to use here, stomping mercilessly on the ruthless NXT Women's Champion, Baszler. Big splash, but right onto those ribs, and her ribs have been a lifelong issue for Belair. Step-up knee strike by Baszler.
Baszler on top, cover.
Back press. Baszler looking to retain the title, but Belair able to kick out.
That jumping knee strike from Shayna Baszler turned Bianca Belair's eyes up inside her head.
Baszler mean-spirited, dangerously proficient, ruthlessly ambitious. And all she wants to do is continue her streak of annihilating her opposition.
Well, Bianca Belair suffering under a lot of pressure here, but we heard earlier that it takes a lot of pressure to create a diamond.
And Belair says she's gonna shine brighter than any diamond. She may have a shiner after those strikes from Baszler as Belair tries to fight back valiantly, eats a kick.
Not even close.
Wow, not
so
able
far
to
away.
negotiate the distance, and now inexperience and desperation may be setting in for Bianca Belair, and this is where Baszler. But when in doubt, bring out the hair whip.
Did you hear that crack?
The champion gave the challenger an opening, and Bianca Belair took it.
And Belair whipped it good.
Listen to this.
Oh, wow!
But now can the challenger take that advantage as the champion clutches at her midsection?
And Belair still having all kinds of...
Oh, look at that!
Wow, that was... Oh, my
Good
God.
Lord!
Belair still has issues with that shoulder. Now looking for the double chicken wing. Look at the strength, and Baszler, the reversing goes right into the referee. Baszler sends Belair crashing into the referee.
Official went down hard.
And now Baszler utilizing that hair braid. Oh, but the right hand from Belair.
Wait a second.
Oh, Belair looking for the KOD.
This is it.
The KOD. Oh. Belair hit the KOD, but there's no referee. Oh, my. No. Belair has the champion pin, but the referee.
We should have a new champion right now.
Man.
Bianca needs to stay on her.
And oh, look at how Belair's reacting. This
Don't
is
panic.
not good. She is beginning to panic.
The challenger breaking down.
Oh, man. Oh, and
look at this.
Here comes Shafir. Marina Shafir. And now she gets dropped by Belair. Remember, Shafir and Duke helped Shayna Baszler become the only two-time NXT Women's Champion. But this time, Belair getting the best of Shafir and Duke, but Belair needs a referee.
The official is still down. A valiant fight.
We could have already crowned a new NXT Women's Champion. But now Baszler turns the tables into the Kirifuda clutch.
Body scissors on as well.
And the referee stirring.
This can't go down like this. Come on.
That elbow is underneath the jaw, in deep.
Baszler has the Kirifuda clutch secured. Belair desperately trying to stave it up. Belair desperately trying to keep breathing.
Baszler said, it doesn't matter how strong you are, you still need to breathe.
Oh,
I think that strength is coming into play right now.
Not only breathing, but Belair getting to her feet with the NXT Women's Champion on her back with the Kirifuda clutch employed. She's broken the Kirifuda clutch.
Belair making Baszler a liar. It does matter how strong you are. Strength.
Unbelievable strength and unbelievable recovery by Bianca Belair. Maturing and growing as a sports entertainer immediately in front of us. What a match.
Belair continuing to prove that she's going to be a problem to Shayna Baszler here tonight.
Belair has been taken to the limit, and yet we still don't know what her limit is, Nigel.
We may be finding out here.
Oh, no. Not again. Jessamine Duke interjects herself. Belair kicks her off the apron. Belair's on the top turnbuckle.
Well, against all the odds, the EST of NXT.
Like she pulled out of WrestleMania last year, but this time Baszler turns it into the Kirifuda clutch.
And that is in deep.
Belair is trying to fight her way out of this one, but it's not looking good.
Belair desperately trying to break the grip of the Kirifuda clutch, but Belair begins to, is she beginning to fade? No, look at the fight. So much fight left in Bianca Belair.
Belair was desperately clawing, but the technique now is beating the strength as the energy fades.
Shayna Baszler has been a submission artist for so many. Are you kidding me?
Unreal.
In Phoenix, Bianca Belair attempts to rise. I can't believe that Baszler still has the Kirifuda clutch
Look
employed.
at this.
How much energy is she expending? She had to switch arms.
Switch to the other arms because she couldn't
And
hold
Belair
it.
still standing.
As long as there's a half a breath left in Bianca Belair, she's going to continue to fight. This is the biggest opportunity to date for her.
But tenacious Shayna Baszler refuses to quit.
You talk about exhibiting character. Oh, but Baszler back on the canvas.
I think that is it,
Belair's
surely.
fading.
Bianca
Eyes are
Belair is
closed.
straight. A referee
Yes.
calls for the bell. And Shayna Baszler retains the NXT Women's Championship.
Your winner by submission and still NXT Women's Champion, Shayna Baszler.
Well, guys, we already know that Shayna Baszler is a dominant NXT Women's Champion. But boy, did we learn a lot about the character, the guts, the future of Bianca Belair in her first championship opportunity.
And take nothing away from Bianca Belair, I think she learned a lot tonight as well from Shayna Baszler. And I highly doubt this will be the last time we see Bianca Belair vie for the NXT Women's Championship.
Let's take a look now at this incredible matchup between these two superstars. Here it was on the top row, attempting that 450 splash, but lying in wait, the champion was there with the Kirifuda clutch. The challenger gave absolutely everything, time and time again, trying to fight out, but ultimately it would be the technique of the champion that would prove the difference.
Shayna Baszler retains the NXT Women's Championship for Bianca Belair. You can call it a loss. I'm sure she's going to call it a learning experience because, boy, she taught us a lot about what she's made of in her first championship opportunity.
Being Bianca Belair absolutely did. The odds were stacked against her. Not just the relative inexperience, but the two other members of the Four Horsewomen coming down to the ringside. Bianca Belair staying alive in this matchup.
And Shayna Baszler saying that she made the championship, the women's title, something people fear. That's what a title should mean. And boy, she is a scary good champion.
But she's leaving tonight with a few scars, metaphorically and physically. Baszler ecstatic. She will celebrate tonight. But Bianca Belair will live to fight another day.
But Bianca Belair is also no longer undefeated.
Welcome to the greatest event in live entertainment in New Orleans.
I got totally lost in it because I was just so blown away by what I was seeing.
Oh my gosh. My heart is just beating so fast I can barely catch a breath.
Rollins is now a career Grand Slam winner.
I'm so proud to leave WrestleMania with this.
That was my moment.
It's just crazy where life takes you.
Thought about this moment so much.
I got this. She now gets to grow up seeing her daddy wrestle.
It's the best job in the world.
Welcome to WrestleMania. Welcome to the Royal Rumble. What? Oh my God! I love it. Listen to this place. I can't tell you how excited I am. We got the power. 30 men, 30 women. The ultimate prize at stake. The main event of WrestleMania. for the first time ever from the home of the Arizona Diamondbacks, Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona.
NXT TakeOver Phoenix living up to its billing. 2 title changes thus far tonight and still to come. The main event for the NXT Championship, and tomorrow at Chase Field, it's the Royal Rumble.
You're listening to X by Poppy, an NXT Loud theme song for NXT TakeOver Phoenix. It's available now on iTunes and Spotify.
An incredible night of action so far here in Phoenix, kicking off Royal Rumble weekend. And guys, coming up immediately after the show, the brainchild of NXT, Triple H, will be talking about this momentous event on Facebook Live.
You can hear everything that Triple H thinks about all the events here tonight, and one man who has certainly played a factor in Triple H's decisions is the sartorial superstar, Velveteen Dream, who is here. He's not on the show tonight, but even though he's not on the show, he's making himself the show. And of course, he is one of the 15 superstars who will be on the Worlds Collide. And let's remember, the winner of that tournament will get a title opportunity of his choosing.
And from the man who chases the spotlight to the men who will be in tonight's spotlight, Aleister Black has already absorbed Gargano for his sins. Now he turns his attention to Tommaso Ciampa, and he has one thing and one thing only on his mind, and that's the NXT Championship. Will Ciampa fade to black, or will the Blackheart retain the NXT title?
There's a little quote. The title doesn't make the man. The man makes the title. And Aleister Black, I let you know back in July. In your case, I feel like the title does indeed make Aleister Black. But ever since...
No! Oh my God! The scourge of NXT is now the NXT champion?
Ever since Tommaso Ciampa wrapped his arms around Goldie, it's the man who makes the title. And NXT is now the A show because I just happen to be the greatest sports entertainer of all time. Why can't anybody dethrone Ciampa? Because I want it more than everybody. It takes a certain kind of man to scratch and claw and climb his way to the tippity top of the mountain. But it takes an entirely different kind of man to build his damn nest there and call it home. And that's the kind of man you're looking at.
I look at the person who took that title. Let that breathe. I was down in an abyss, and I had to climb out of that abyss. It made me very, very angry. And whereas a lot of good men out there that get lost in the frenzy of their rage, I project it in a single stream of focus and concentration, and vengefully apply it to my enemies.
Oh, that ominous chord can mean only one thing. The Devil's Envoy, Aleister Black, is here.
I stood toe-to-toe with Johnny Gargano, and I absolved him from his sins that you created, Puppet Master.
The Puppet Master.
Wow.
I want to finish
this. I love when you come out here and you become Johnny Badass.
Inside.
This is just my opinion of a steel cage.
Puppet Master. I want you to hold your loved ones, dear Tommaso. I had to go through extreme lengths to get back where I belonged in the first place, because that title is rightfully mine.
Your entire NXT title reign, 109 days. was overshadowed by me, the main event. That must have bothered the hell out of you.
I will expose you and cut your wires, Puppet Master.
I walk into TakeOver Phoenix, day 184. It's jealousy, Aleister Black.
I shall throw you in the abyss.
One man will continue to reign.
And take your title, your pride, your essence.
Day 184, day 185, day 186.
And I will make you
fade to black.
Former NXT champion Aleister Black is 7-0 at NXT TakeOver events, laser focused as he gets set to absolve Tommaso Ciampa not only of his sins, but of the NXT title that, let's face it, Aleister Black lost in dubious fashion.
And the issues between Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano spilled over into this man's lap. He was robbed of his NXT championship for that reason. And tonight, I believe this man will find some sort of absolution in the form of the NXT title.
The poise, the grace, the harbinger of fury, ready to unleash on the NXT champion.
A lot of men get lost in their rage, but he protects his in a single stream of focus and concentration and applies it to his enemies. And tonight, public enemy number one is Tommaso Ciampa.
The dark and imposing NXT champion, grabbing that championship tight to his chest. The Obsidian Tommaso Ciampa feels that that title is deserving of a man like Tommaso Ciampa. And let's be honest, fellas, a lot of us never thought we'd see Tommaso champion as the NXT champion.
You're exactly right, but he played the game well. He played everybody. And this man now believes he is the greatest sports entertainer of all time. And he's believing it more so now that he's been named 2018 Male Competitor of the Year.
Also involved in the rivalry of the year with his former tag team partner, Johnny Gargano. They were NXT Tag Team Champions. And to your point, Nigel, in just his 10th singles match in NXT, Tommaso Ciampa shocked the universe with a little help from Gargano. And last July, Ciampa became NXT champion. Defended the title against Velveteen Dream at the last TakeOver. Velveteen Dream in attendance tonight.
The following contest, scheduled for one fall, is for the NXT Championship. Introducing the challenger, from Amsterdam, Holland, weighing in at 215 pounds, Aleister Black. And his opponent, from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, weighing in at 210 pounds, he is the NXT Champion, Tommaso Ciampa.
Almost reptilian eyes on the champion there as again he clutches what he calls Goldie close to his chest. Another kiss for the title. Is that just safekeeping, or is he kissing goodbye to that prestigious championship?
NXT Championship hangs in the balance in the main event of NXT TakeOver Phoenix. Been 16 championship reigns with 14 different champions. And this match gets started in a hurry. Collar and elbow tie-up in the center of the ring, and it, not surprisingly already, falls to the ringside area.
The superstar can wait to get their hands on each other.
Champion's advantage, of course, for Tommaso Ciampa, as Black needs to pin him or submit him inside the ring to win the title. Oh, wow. Waistlock takedown by Aleister Black. Again, it's been #1 throughout the night. NXT TakeOver. You can become a part of the conversation for this much anticipated main event using hashtag NXT Championship.
The challenger showing somewhat of a technical grappling advantage against the champion. With Tommaso Ciampa, you've got to try to continue the mental game against the very easily provocable Aleister Black.
Ciampa rotten to his very marrow. Known for his vicious and intemperate disposition, and yet when the bell goes, he is as good as it gets. Ciampa says he's a realist. He calls it like he sees it. He feels he has the best physique in all of WWE. He's the best in-ring performer in all of WWE, and he says it's not happenstance.
Look, this man believes his own hype, and I guess for good reason. He is the NXT champion for a reason.
Tip up by Black, side headlock, reversal. Takeover by Aleister Black, quick cover for a 1. Side headlock takeover now by the Dutch Destroyer.
Again, the challenger showing a technical advantage, arguably, against the champion. Of course, Aleister Black, usually known for his strong striking. And if you are the champion, that's really got to be your game set, your strategy, is how do you negate that striking advantage?
Well, Black wears symbolism on his skin in the NXT Championship, the symbol of supremacy.
See Ciampa pulling at the ear of Aleister Black.
On Sports Entertainment's ultimate proving ground, the black and gold brand, but Goldie belongs to Ciampa.
Whoa.
Back body drop by Black. And again, Black with that side headlock takeover, grounding Tommaso Ciampa and wanting to grind him down.
So there, the champion trying for a fairy tale ending to this match early on, but there was no way the challenger was going to let him have it. From side headlock, making Ciampa expend some energy to get back to his feet. See if we get a clean break.
Come on, back it up. 1, 2, 3.
Referee. Ciampa had up until the count of 5 to break in the corner. Now he has Black in the other corner. And again, referee looking for the break. This time, Black comes back with a couple of right hands, make it a hat trick. Ooh, but a well-placed knee to the breadbasket by Ciampa stops Black in his tracks. Irish whip. Black avoiding The back body drop, and now the striking man from Amsterdam utilizing those striking skills. And there's some grace on the part of Black. Oh, Ciampa drops down and avoids that roundhouse kick from Black.
Well, to my original point, the strategy of avoiding those strikes.
A brutal game of chess being played here. And the mind games. Oh! Boot to the face by Ciampa.
Oh, and a smile on the face of Ciampa after doing that. Black has referred to the champion as the puppet master.
Black said he's going to cut the strings tonight.
Yeah, well, Ciampa has more nicknames than Ed Leslie calls himself the greatest sports entertainer of all time, Tommy Sports Entertainment, and well, Black is going to try to end Tommy. Whoa! Oh, Tope con hero by the Dutch Destroyer, and that's one way to end Tommaso Ciampa. But he's got to roll him back into the ring, and he's quick to do so. Wow.
Can't be 100% sure. May have just tweaked his knees slightly on the outside.
Well, he's still able to deliver an avalanche of strikes here. Let's see if we can pick it up.
Look. Yeah, here's another angle.
Oh, he did land hard.
Just there, just there. Did you see that? Just a momentary, just trying to shake it off.
Well, high risk, high reward.
That's exactly what it takes. Tonight is not a time to hold back.
Black able to sweep Ciampa off his feet and delivers a knee right to the side of Ciampa's head. Ciampa staggered. Tembrata by Black. Black goes for the cover. Hooks the leg, and Black almost became a two-time NXT champion. Well, Ciampa saying enough of this. The champion taking a momentary respite on the outside, utilizing that referee's count, trying to get into the brains of Black, and he succeeds momentarily. Oh! But he pays for it with that kick by Black.
Things weren't going very well for the champion in the ring, so electing to go to the outside. Stop the momentum of the challenger.
Oh, and Black able to block, running into the steel steps. Oh, but he wasn't able to block that. And now Ciampa drives Black into the stairs. And, you know, Nigel, you mentioned Black maybe tweaking the knee on the landing. And, well, if he wasn't hurt before, he's definitely feeling the wrath of Tommaso Ciampa right now.
Exactly, as we see here, look at this. Driving the champion's knee hard into the ring steps.
Tommaso Ciampa says that Aleister Black is a one-trick pony. You take away Black Mass, he has nothing.
Well, that's an interesting strategy. Hold on a second.
Ciampa suplexes Black into the steps. And his knee crashes into that unforgiving steel.
And that was the same knee that was tweaked earlier on.
And the sadistic NXT champion smiling that Cheshire Cat smile.
And I was wondering earlier, how does Tommaso Ciampa plan on doing that? How does he plan on stopping Black Mass? I think that plan is starting to unveil itself slowly but surely throughout the course of this match.
Straight away. Oh, to the left knee.
And Ciampa focusing his attack on the left leg of Aleister Black.
Well, as of course we know, Tommaso Ciampa very familiar with knee injuries right now.
Well, he has
the
a
right
brace.
knee there, yes, of Tommaso Ciampa.
But it's Ciampa meting out the punishment to Aleister Black. Black told us that he was going to take everything that Ciampa is and use it against him. Well, right now he's able to, unable to turn the tables on the NXT champion. Black has to find a way to extricate himself from this painful position.
And sooner rather than later, because if you take out that left leg, that's the base leg. That's the base leg that the challenger uses for that Black Mass spinning heel kick. So take that away, you take out the strongest weapon of Aleister Black.
You've been making salient points all night, Mr. McGuinness. That may have been your most astute observation, as Ciampa indeed looking to wear down the challenger.
Strong elbow from the challenger, and there's the injured leg again.
Oh! Wow. Say what you will about Tommaso Ciampa's attitude, but boy, he is hyper-focused on that left leg, and he is taking away the very foundation of what makes Aleister Black so dangerous.
Trying to hyperextend the cruciate ligaments of that left knee.
And Ciampa doing it in a methodical, systematic fashion, Percy.
Hey, Ciampa does not care. Whatever works, whatever helps him retain the NXT title here tonight.
Oh, wow, look at that, the leverage. Look, Nigel using the ring ropes to his advantage and knowing full well he has up to a count of 5. And again, Ciampa attacking the injured leg of Black.
So damn good. You're a one-trick pony.
There he is, he said he's a one-trick pony. As Ciampa tries to take out one of the legs of that pony.
Oh!
Won't be a pleasure ride for the rest of this match at all.
Oh, wow, wrapping that injured leg around the post. And Tommaso Ciampa continues to just decimate Aleister Black. Oh.
Look, you can't even be surprised at the lengths that Tommaso Ciampa will go to reserve his title, his championship. This man will do anything.
Well, it was the most epic of rivalries last year against Johnny Gargano that was voted the rivalry of the year. But now, Tommaso Ciampa, oh my God!
But if this continues, the challenger will be without one leg.
Oh, Ciampa, he's got that injured knee, and he drives the knee onto the Spanish announce table. Aleister Black's patella tendon could be torn, his kneecap shattered. Look at Tommaso Ciampa admiring his handiwork.
This may be more than the title. This could be more about trying to end the career of Aleister Black here.
A moment of zen for the NXT champion.
A moment in which he continues to taunt the challenger, Aleister Black.
Hydration super important, especially as this match goes longer.
Oh! And Black explodes back.
Everybody getting hydrated at ringside as that water flew.
And Black trying to get back up to his feet. Ciampa rolls back into the ring, knowing that Black needs to make it back into the squared circle if he wants a chance at becoming a two-time NXT champion and joining Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura as the only two-time NXT champs.
But look at Black hobbling. He's essentially on one leg.
Oh, yes. And not for long. He's on no legs after Ciampa again attacks the injured limb.
A bullseye as clear as the noonday sun.
Here in the Valley of the Sun.
Oh. Again, extending the cruciate ligaments. The challenger has got to come up with a game plan and come up with one quickly.
Oh, Ciampa.
How dirty is Ciampa? Just digging the heel in the face of Aleister Black.
Malevolent force. Tommaso Ciampa. STO. Oh, wow, just continues to do whatever he can to exacerbate that left leg injury.
This is not where Aleister Black wants to be. When Tommaso Ciampa gets time to manipulate the body.
Black tied to the trio ball on that injured leg. And a brutal display here by Tommaso Ciampa. And Percy, you're right, but how? I mean, Black is at the mercy of the NXT champion. And it's very rare when you can say that about the Dutch Destroyer, Nigel.
Absolutely, but it had been almost a perfect game plan from the NXT champion at this point.
Black is limping, but he's on his feet. Ciampa uncorks a right hand that drives Black back. But Black down with a full speed, and Black, wow, sends Ciampa toppling from the top turnbuckle, but at what cost, you guys?
The challenger gritting his teeth, excuse me.
Aleister Black absolutely out of nowhere, willing himself to find some offense, knocking Ciampa off of his perch.
And while it will give Black an opportunity to recover, dare I say it, almost, again, it exacerbated the injury, but this is what's at stake. Aleister Black, coming from behind the proverbial 8-ball, has to find a way to get back into this championship match, and he may have just done it with that Hail Mary kick.
And I don't think that the challenger, Aleister Black, is a one-trick pony, but a lot of his offense does involve kicks.
He's a one-legged pony right now. But Black firing back with the right hand. And again, though, the tenacity of Tommaso Ciampa. Oh! He got rocked with that strike. And Black, oh, but he's unable to put weight on that leg. And again, Ciampa immediately going after that leg.
This is going to be the biggest test of Aleister Black's career.
It already is, Nigel. Oh, wow, he caught him!
See that?
He caught Tommaso Ciampa, he rattled the champ!
Black's a smart man. He's clearly making the modifications and making them count.
And Black making the most of the opportunity, the adrenaline coursing through his veins, launches a kick, Black goes for the cover! Ciampa able to kick out. Wow! The second wind of Aleister Black. Almost the winds of change atop the NXT men's division.
Easier said than done, but now is not the time to let up. Aleister Black needs to dig deep and find a way to find more offense, to apply more pressure to Tommaso Ciampa.
Ball package by Ciampa, shoulders down. Black escapes. Oh, look, Ciampa looking for that fairy tale ending. Black fights it off, takes down the champ. Oh, but misses with Black Mass. Backslide. Oh, here's Ciampa again looking for that fairy tale ending. Fairy tale ending. Oh, wow.
See Black holding that left knee again?
Oh, but the rabbit forearm by Ciampa.
Black was trying for the Black Mass. Ciampa stopped him, and again trying.
Oh, wow. Black again. Oh, no, Black sits down. Shoulders are down. Black almost became a two-time NXT champion. Oh. Black utilizing those kicks. Another roundhouse kick catches the champ. German suplex with a bridge. Black on one leg.
Wow.
Wow. What a creative way of driving with your hips with only one good leg.
An incredible display of guts here by Aleister Black. But you have to wonder what adjustments he can make, because when it comes to his Black Mass, he needs that base leg. Uh-oh.
Knowing Black, he'll figure it out on the run.
This is it.
We've seen this.
No.
As usually a prelude to the Black Mass.
Can't do that, but
Dragon
yes.
screw leg whip by Ciampa on that injured leg. Now into the single grab. A single leg grab, and this could force Black to tap.
That is deep. Look how deep the champion is sitting down.
The pain and agony etched on the face of Aleister Black.
Black frantically trying to get to the bottom rope.
Oh, he's able to turn the tables. He's able to kick off Ciampa. Oh, palm strikes by Ciampa, but Black jumps the champ, and now it's Black with a single leg grab on the NXT champion.
But Black has to use that base leg, the injured knee. He has to put weight on that knee at the same time. Yes.
Wow. It is a war of attrition here in the main event for the NXT championship.
That left knee gave out. Trying to sit deep on that single leg Boston Crab attempt. What can the challenger do now?
Black, of course, having to survive that brutal cage match with Johnny Gargano on NXT TV leading into this title match, and he has Tommaso Ciampa staggered. Black on the apron. Oh, but Ciampa well scouted. Launches with right hand. Oh, no.
What?
Oh, my God!
Tower of London on the apron. This could be it.
Ciampa dropping Black with the Tower of London, and Black able to escape.
Talk about the heart of the challenger, not willing to give in.
running knee strike, back press, hooks a leg, and Black able to pop up that right shoulder before the referee hit the mat a third time.
And the champion, Tommaso Ciampa, refusing to quit here. Take a look at the impact. Very little give on the outside, wham! But very quickly following up.
Dueling champs here in Phoenix. The night before the Royal Rumble, and Black and Ciampa are rumbling in the main event here for the NXT title. Oh, wow, Ciampa now.
Look at this.
Really rubbing it in. Black, oh, and he pays for it. He pays for it with that jumping knee, and there's one for Black as Ciampa responds in kind.
Well, that spoke volumes. The champion, usually after hitting that jumping knee strike, follows up with more offense. Had expended too much energy, and the champion came straight back.
The 2018 Male Competitor of the Year, Tommaso Ciampa, defending the title for the second time at TakeOver after a successful defense against the Velveteen Dream. Aleister Black on his feet and now coming forward with a forearm. Both superstars digging deep.
Oh, picking up the pace here and the aggression.
In the former home of the Phoenix Coyotes, a hockey fight breaking out between Ciampa and Black. And there's a big boot to the face of the challenger by Ciampa. And Black responds with one of his own. Oh, and the shoulders are down, roll up, and Ciampa almost escaped with the title right there. Oh, beautiful reversal by Black, but now his shoulders are down.
Where are these men finding the energy?
Incredible. Simply incredible. Oh! Not as fast as usual, that offensive sequence, and Black pays for it as Ciampa.
Black was turned inside out with that lariat from Ciampa.
Oh, Ciampa trying to do it himself. But instead,
Black exposing the knee. Oh, Black with a double stomp to the champion's chest.
Ciampa trying to kick the leg out. Challenger avoided it. Here we go.
Aleister Black. Oh, but he cannot carry weight on that injured left leg, and he's going to try again, sending Ciampa into the ropes, jumping knee strike to the back by Aleister Black.
Somehow grit, determination.
This could be it. This could be it. By Black. Aleister Black looking to become two-time champion, but he only gets a 2 count.
Look at Ciampa smartly rolling out of the ring, getting out of the way of Aleister Black, buying himself some more time to recover.
Champion's advantage, can't lose the title on the outside.
Black on the second turnbuckle, Mamma mia, what a moonsault by the injured challenger.
You can run, but you cannot hide.
Aleister Black executes a moonsault from the second turnbuckle to the outside. Oh, and I think Black he slipped on the water here in front of us, and that allows Tommaso Ciampa to sink in. Fairy tale ending.
That's it.
Fairy tale ending.
Retains.
Oh, Black able to keep his fairy tale alive. This is not the happy ending that Black is looking for. He wants to become a 2-time champion in Ciampa. He simply can't believe what just transpired, Percy.
I can't believe it either. Black just kicked out of Ciampa's toughest offensive maneuver. I don't know how he did it.
A fairy tale ending would not prove to be an ending for the match. That was very serendipitous of the champion. A slip from the challenger gave the champion the opportunity to hit that.
Ciampa rolls back to the outside. Oh, wow. Oh, we saw Johnny Gargano do this earlier tonight against Ricochet, and
we saw the effect that it had on Ricochet.
Yes, we did, and of course, Ciampa knows what it feels like as well, as he was on the receiving end WrestleMania weekend last year. And what a sick smile the champion is sporting, exposing the concrete around ringside. But Ciampa knows he needs to break that count, and I mean, now Ciampa just wants to punish him.
Hey, you get back in the ring right now.
Ciampa conversation with the referee. Meanwhile, Black's on the apron. From the apron, double knees. Wipes out the NXT champion.
Look at how the challenger landed onto the injured knee. Perhaps you have to question that as an offensive maneuver at this juncture.
Black
at
wasted
this
very
stage,
little time.
Yeah, at this stage, he needs to pull out every potential stop. He needs to do whatever is necessary.
Game over. Good night.
He's out.
Aleister Black.
Oh my God, he got all of that.
Just nailed Tommaso Ciampa with the black mask, but Ciampa's rolled onto his stomach. Black unable to cover him. He has his arm over top, but there's no cover.
With the last ounce of energy in his body, Ciampa turned to his chest, and that has saved him the title.
Look at the velocity on this black mask when it made contact with the face of Tommaso Ciampa.
The sickening impact of that brutal black mask. And yet Tommaso Ciampa's title reign refuses to fade to black. Ciampa staggered, trying to get back up to his feet.
And if Black had just found a way to get the shoulders of Tommaso Ciampa on the mat, this could be all over right now.
I think Black is about to absolve Ciampa of his sins. Oh, but the referee! Oh, wow, jumping knee strike by Black. Ciampa with the quick roll-up. Black's on the second rope, draping DDT! Draping DDT by the champion! Fairy tale ending! Ciampa with the fairy tale ending!
Cover!
Oh my God! Did Aleister Black just kick out of the fairy tale ending?
Not once, but twice.
This is incredible, Nigel. How in the hell did Aleister Black kick out of the fairy tale ending?
I am stunned as Ciampa tries it again for a third time.
Will the third time be the charm?
That's it. That is it.
No.
No, what is Tommaso Ciampa refusing to go for the cover? Wants to eliminate Aleister Black once and for all, and he's paying for it with a roundhouse kick. Oh, no. Black injured his leg.
Again. The knee gave way.
And another fairy tale ending. Tommaso Ciampa goes for the cover. Tommaso Ciampa remains NXT champion.
Your winner and still NXT champion, Tommaso Ciampa.
An incredibly gutsy display by both superstars, and in the end, Tommaso Ciampa's reign of terror continues.
Aleister Black literally fought to the bitter end in this NXT title match, but in the end, his knee was what let him down slightly, and Tommaso Ciampa was just too much. And Tommaso Ciampa is still the NXT champion.
The game plan was a successful one, Nigel, as Tommaso Ciampa focused his attack on the base leg of Aleister Black, and yet we're still dumbfounded. We're still at times speechless as to the fight Aleister Black was able to give despite being mostly on one leg.
It was absolutely incredible for a good portion of this match. I, for one, thought that perhaps Aleister Black was unbeatable at TakeOver, but the champion proved me wrong.
And Black falls to 7-1 at NXT TakeOver events.
What an incredible display of brutality. A number of times that the champion thought he'd put away the challenger. It would not be a fairy tale ending at this point, however.
Aleister Black found a way to kick out of that still, and you saw the look of shock and disappointment on the face of Ciampa. But look at the speed again of that black mask thrown by Aleister Black. And right here, it should have been all over.
attempting the Black Mass spinning heel kick again, hitting the knee, and then there, rolling through, serendipitous landing on the middle rope. Oh! Impact DDT, but look how quickly the champion follows up again. Wham! With a fairy tale ending. Hook of the leg, 2, and no! The challenger again would kick out.
I mean, you can read out of Ciampa's face and the look of surprise. He couldn't believe that Aleister Black was able to kick out of that, but Aleister Black was still able to stay alive and keep fighting. But you can see right there, his knee would not give him the support he needed to continue on, which led Ciampa again to go to fairy tale ending, get the cover and get the win and retain the NXT title.
Tommaso Ciampa told us that he was not overlooking or underestimating Aleister Black. He said that Black may very well be the second best talent in all of NXT. But Ciampa told us that never in the history of sports entertainment has the gap between #1 and #2 been so big. Ciampa says he's untouchable on a different level. He says he's a man of his word. That word tonight remains champion. What a night it has been here in Phoenix. Royal Rumble weekend off to a memorable start as NXT TakeOver Phoenix culminates with Tommaso Ciampa in a titanic battle, retaining the title against former champion Aleister Black.
Another look at the way he did it. It was actually, I believe, the 4th time that the champion hit this. A valiant effort from Black, but the base leg there giving way. And finally, wham! By the grace of God, the champion retains.
Tommaso Ciampa saying that when his mission is complete, kids will no longer dream of their WrestleMania moment. Kids will dream of their TakeOver moment. What a moment for the champion. What a weekend it is here in Phoenix. Enjoy the Royal Rumble tomorrow, streaming live only on the WWE Network.